Okay, shall I start?
Uh, yes, we can,
Yeah.
sir.
Members will join slowly, no problem.
So, good afternoon, friends. Now we are in third session today, which is 15th session of this program, and with us we are having Professor NVR Jyoti Kumar ji. He is senior professor in Department of Commerce, Mizoram University. He is former dean of the school, former head three times for Department of Commerce. Uh, he is a person very active on different academic platforms. He is having a lot of publications in his credit. At many platforms, he used to speak, and he's very friendly in the nature that yesterday, you all know that there was some problem with some resource person with power cut. Just half an hour before, I told him, and he agreed immediately to join. Although due to power cut, he couldn't join. That was a different story. But he agreed immediately to, without any such timing and all. So that we always find he is always, what to say, cooperative for this. He is my senior in my department, and in his, what to say, suggestions and his uh, guidelines department and his school is working. He is member of almost all important committees in university, and not only in our university, he is member of committees in different universities. So now he's here. Let's get experience of him, and he's going to talk on the changing roles and responsibilities of teachers in higher educational institutions in the context of NEP 2020. So, sir, time is yours now, and you
Yeah,
can start.
yeah. Yeah, thank you, Professor Bhartendra Singh. You are genuine but a little bit generous for me. And actually, he is my dean in the School of Economics, Management and Information Sciences. And Dr. Bidu Kanti Das is associate professor in the Department of Management. So they are my colleagues in the school. And I came to know about general profile of the faculty who have been participating in this is it a refresher course? Is it a refresher course basically meant for the faculty of commerce, economics, and management? And this is a good combination. Um, after seeing the schedule, I really feel that I should also become a participant of this particular refresher course because there are many eminent resource persons. They have drawn from different parts of the country. So the topics chosen by the resource persons, they're quite varied in nature, and though they are inter and multidisciplinary in nature. So this is the topic, and in the context of National Education Policy 2020, I thought better now we discuss about the changing roles and responsibilities of teachers, because basically we are teachers in higher education institutions, and we are no need to give the operational meaning of higher education institution. Any institution offering UG, PG, UG or PG and PhD programs, they are often known as higher education institutions. And we are the main stakeholders of higher education institutions in the country. And I know I'm addressing very young faculty members, the faculty members not having very much experience. And so I would like to speak about us only. What is that we are expected to do? What is that we are expected to perform in Indian higher education scenarios? And of course, I just want to start my presentation with the role of technology in higher education. And of course, this has become a buzzword these days: artificial intelligence, popularly known as AI. And of course, we have different type of technologies like digital technology and machine learning, right? Internet of Things. So these are the concepts we are well aware of. And so how this technology is going to impact our role as a teacher within the four walls of a classroom. So just I want to start with this. And we know AI allows the machines to execute tasks that have traditionally required human cognition. AI-powered programs and devices can make decisions, solve problems, understand and mimic natural language and learn from unstructured data. And in fact, artificial intelligence is not totally new concept for us. And have you ever played chess against a bot? Have you consulted a virtual assistant like Siri or Alexa? So that means we have already interacted with the AI. So why I have started with this particular thing? Because we should understand that most of our students, because they are around 18 to 20 years of age, right? And they are well aware of the usage of technology and how to use it. They are well aware of the existence of technology and how to use it. And so, what are the functions of AI in education? Because I know I'm addressing a group of faculty members who are at least two generations younger to me. I would say two generations younger to me. So from that angle, considering my age, I would consider myself in the role of a grandfather or grandparent, right? And not the students and the participants of this particular refresher course, they must be around 30, 35 years of age. So I'm quite aware of the fact that you teachers are going to be in this field in the next 25 to 30 years of time minimum. And pre-COVID, what happened during COVID-19? And now, of course, COVID has gone, fortunately. And now, actually, we are in the era of post-COVID period, right? And we all know how technology impacted, how COVID impacted us as citizens, as buyers, as consumers, as parents, as teachers, and also as students. So we should be well aware of all these things. And COVID has gone, but the habits which we acquired during COVID, it may be reading habits or writing habits, or the way we want to entertain ourselves, and the way we want to place order for food which we want to eat for dinner, and the way we mingle with the peoples in different parts of the world, right? And the way we look at the world, and everything has changed. And it is because of COVID pandemic, which which is often known as once in a century pandemic. So naturally, it has its own impact on education. Here I'm using the word education not only in terms of higher education, it is education at all levels, including primary education. So we are still learning how AI technologies will integrate into the education sector. We are in the process of understanding AI's impact on critical issues of ethics, equity, and data safety. So these three important words: equity, ethics, and data safety. And AI-powered tools, they have many uses, they have many advantages. AI-powered educational games, adaptive learning platforms, for example, Carnegie Learning, Newton. So these are some of the new platforms, education platforms, which became globally popular. Automated grading and feedback systems, chatbots for student support, intelligent tutoring system, and so on. So we have to realize that this is the new reality, and we are on the global stage, and these are the technological changes that happened, and we should understand how these technologies are going to impact our role as a teacher in higher educational institutions. Well, here is a study, kind of recent study. Last year, Forbes, they conducted this particular study. Of course, the respondents are educators in America, and they conducted a survey to understand how AI impacted their job roles and job responsibilities. So in October 2023, Forbes Advisor surveyed 500 practicing educators in the US, and 55% of respondents felt that AI improved educational outcomes. 18% felt that, of course, they have a negative perception about AI's role, and they said it in fact hindered educational outcomes, and they felt a kind of threat from AI. And 60% of educators, they are already using AI in their classroom. But there are concerns surrounding AI in education, and what are the concerns? So these are some of the concerns expressed by the respondents in this particular survey. So these are the concerns surrounding AI in education. And 65% of the educators felt that plagiarism has become a common thing, and they felt that the students are indulging in plagiarism while writing assignments and while doing the research. So that is one of the findings of this particular survey. And 62% of respondents felt that AI and machine learning kind of tools, kind of technologies, they have in fact reduced human interaction in learning. And 42% felt that there is a data privacy and security. 30% felt, and of course, they have some fear that sooner or later, these technologies are going to replace them as teachers, and they're seeing clear dangers, for their existence as teachers. That is the opinion of 30% of educators. And 30% felt there is unequal access to AI-powered resources. So this world is, we have different type of inequalities in this world. It may be in terms of financial inequality, or economic inequality, or social inequality, right? And this is a new kind of inequality. It actually triggered a new kind of inequality that they call it digital inequality. And that is the opinion of 30% of educators in advanced country like America, and I need not overemphasize its role in a developing nation and vast developing nation like India, because all students are not alike, and of course, we are going to discuss about student diversity also, right? And in terms of economic background of the students, in terms of social background of the students, all students are not alike. And these days, actually, as part of NEP 2020, at PG level, especially in our university, we have been involved in making our students submit their dissertation. And the dissertation is having 18 credits spanning third and fourth semester of their PG programs. And at times, I feel that there are some students, they find it very difficult to afford a laptop, though they are studying a post-graduation program like MCOM, right? And all the students, they may not be having access to certain technologies, certain tools, and so naturally it would enhance inequality in a different form called digital inequality. And 23% of respondents felt that automation of manual tasks is happening due to AI technologies, right? So now, what is the future of AI in education? What is the future of AI in education? So how you are going to perceive the impact of these technologies on your job, and what kind of changes you are expecting still in next 10 years, next 15 years, right? And what kind of students you are expecting in next 1 or 2 decades. And also, please remember that the teachers worry about cheating and the lack of human interaction. That is the main concern. And we all know the concept of a chat GPT, and they are simply, yesterday someone was telling that, SP Balasubramaniam, a great singer, who great singer in different Indian languages, right? And some people approached his son and they were asking him, uh, please allow us to make use of AI, and so that with the help of these tools, it is possible for a robo to sing exactly like your father. So, so instead of feeling very happy, and his son actually rejected that proposal, saying that I don't want it and I don't allow it, and there are some legal issues involved, right? And they need his permission because he has some patent rights, and he didn't allow it to happen. So you give any topic, right? And actually, human brain, you need not use, our students need not use their natural human brain in searching for data, in reading, in understanding, in having comprehension about that topic, and in having some creative thinking, so that they would be in a position to write something. So all that process is not required. You just ask Chat GPT, and it would write a wonderful assignment. And even if it is a research based topic, and it will do everything. It will do everything, and you need not worry about anything about at all. And it would be very difficult for your teacher not to give a very good grade for that particular assignment, because it contains all the latest data and all the thinking which a student is supposed to do, and all the effort which a student is expected to do, and the student need not do that. So finally, if a student is, able to do his human task, is task which are required in the process of studies. If he's actually without doing that, if he's able to get a degree, right? Then he finally, what kind of, how he is going to help the company in which he would join, and without having the basic knowledge and skills to perform that particular task. So these are some of the questions we need to answer. And so teachers worry about cheating and the lack of human interaction. And AI cheating, there are different methods of AI cheating methods, like plagiarism, using voice assistants in exams, misusing AI-driven translation tools, and so on. So what is the way out? What is the bottom line? So UNESCO called for a transparent, human-centered approach. And let us have a positive outlook on the future. And educators need more education to understand AI, and they need to use it ethically. So let us not allow AI to take center stage and a central role. So here we need to play an important role as teachers. Right. And very recently, there is a news item in Assam Tribune that I don't want to mention the name of one particular private university in Guwahati. And they already had one robo. It is nothing but a AI tool, right? And they gave him one female name. They said this is a new teacher, new faculty member joined that particular university, and they just experimented with that robo, and students are very much impressed. Students are very much happy about the way that teacher is sharing our knowledge. And that teacher is saying, he ask any question in seconds, I would answer it. He just ask any question in this particular subject, right? I need not wait even you need not wait for even 1 or 2 minutes, and I would answer that question. And college management and students were happy about that particular teacher, right? And now management is contemplating to have more number of such teachers, right? And they would say it is going to be good investment because there is no need for any sick leaves and there is no need for any, there would not be any complaints, which normally about human teachers, managements may be having different type of complaints, and no need to give any promotion for that, AI tool or robo, right? So these days, in some literature, they are using one particular phrase like human teachers. They are using this particular phrase quite often, human teachers. What is this human teacher? And teacher is supposed to be human only. Why they are using this particular phrase? It is because of this AI tools. So now the simple issue why I've started my presentation with the technology is, the technology is a double-edged sword. Any technology, not only this AI technology, of course, we consider this as the latest technology, but technology as such, right? We should consider it as a double-edged sword. And we all know the concept of creative destruction. Creative destruction. And great economist Schumpeter, he had introduced this concept of creative destruction, and we cannot prevent any technology to happen. We cannot prevent it, and but at the same time we should use it to improve our productivity. And always we should remember that technology is a tool. Technology is a tool, and just like chalk piece of chalk, just like a smart board, just like a calculator, right? Just like a laptop, right? This AI technology is a tool. Use it as a tool, and please never allow it to be your master, right? And of course, regarding digital technology, whether even social media, right? And there are many concerns about the use of social media. And teachers these days, they don't have any monopoly power. They are not actually teachers in 20th century, post-COVID era. We are really not in a dominant position, right? We are really not in a dominant position, in the sense that students have equal access to knowledge resources, right? And we should also remember, someone told me, one professor in America, a very senior professor in one of American universities, he is sharing his experience that after listening to your lecture for 15 minutes, students in American classroom, they used to ask, all these things we are well aware of, and they are available in the textbook. Please teach us what is not there in the textbook. He just narrated his experience. There is a kind of challenge, they have in the best universities in America. Because instead of sitting in the classroom, if students could work outside the class, they would earn some dollars. So why to waste my time? Why to waste? So they have opportunity cost, right? So that type of challenge, our students, they expect from the teachers, right? So we need to handle this technology sensibly, and as teachers, we should not allow any technology to replace ourselves as human teachers, right? So if college management is thinking that instead of employing a human teacher, why don't we have AI empowered machines, and why don't we ask our students to, because students have access to listen to lectures through YouTube, right? So these things we need to understand, and we should also use this technology as a tool, but please remember, we have a responsibility to teach our students to use these technologies, whatever the form of technology, and it should help them in enhancing the teaching learning process instead of replacing the human teachers. Well, and so next, before going to the next issue, I just request the participants, as per our procedure, if you have any queries or observations, whatever it may be, please don't hesitate to mention it in our chat box or question and answer box, right? And towards the end of the session, and the session would go up to 3 o'clock, also 1 more hour. So maybe next 45 minutes, I will discuss the different aspects of national education policy on and how it is going to impact the higher education institutions and also we as teachers, right? And so this is the state of higher education in India, and many people would say that ours is the third largest economy, but in fact, ours is the second largest system, higher education system. And we have 4 crore students in India who are in higher education institutions pursuing their studies. And we have over 50,000 higher education institutions in the country, very vast number, including over 1,500 universities. It's not just 1050, it is in fact 1,500 universities, more than that we have. And we have National Education Policy 2020, which is in place. And I believe that most of you must be already following must be already involved in executing the national education policy in your college or in your university department in different ways, right? And to double gross enrollment ratio from 26% to 50% in the next 10 years. So that is the immediate task of national education policy. And I don't have any doubts that we are going to achieve this particular task in next 10 years by 2035. Because if you consider any advanced nation, including America or any advanced nation, in Europe or some Asian nations like China or Japan, right? And so India's GER, gross enrollment ratio, is very low. And in many advanced nations, it is 70 to 80%, right? So this is the immediate task of the national education policy. We want to enhance it to 50%. That means it is all about expanding expansion of higher educational expansion of access to higher education, right? Then India is the second largest source of international students globally, next to China. And in fact, China and India, these are the two countries, of course, in terms of population, we are very big in the world. And out of every 3 students in the world who want to pursue their studies in abroad, 1 student belongs to either India or China. That means 33% of international students who are pursuing their studies in the world, they belong to these 2 countries. You just imagine, the kind of the size of international students from these 2 countries. Well, so this is about National Education Policy 2020. These are some of the salient features of salient characteristics of NEP, right? And broadly, we want to, through this policy document, through this vision document, we want to open up a highly regulated and largely a closed academic system. So far, that was the perception of the authors of the formulators of this particular policy, and Kastur Rangan was the leader, and under his guidance, many the best brains of India, actually, they drafted this particular document, and we all know that we are in the process of making our country a developed country by 2047. In next 24 years, we want to see a developed nation. We call it popularly known as Vikasit Bharat 2047. And we all know that our strength lies with our young population, and we call it, demographic dividend, right? And compared to other nations, India is a young nation, right? And we claim that ours is the fourth largest economy in terms of GDP, and we're in the process of becoming the third largest economy in terms of GDP. And in terms of size, and already India is we already surpassed China in terms of the size of population. And we all know all these things. But please remember, you and I have a role to play to make India a developed nation, especially you younger people. We have a much role to play, right? And I don't know whether India would become a developed nation by 2047, considering my age. I don't know whether I would witness it, but certainly I wish that every one of you would see it, and I wish that you will celebrate that once India achieved that landmark in next 20, 25 years of time. So, higher education institution, keeping in this context, keeping this particular national vision, right? Higher education institutions and the teachers working in higher education institutions have a role to play. And NEP document also envisaged, it also made a commitment by accepting NEP 2020 document. It's a policy document, and Government of India already made a promise that they are ready to infuse major investments, and they are already committed to invest 6% of GDP, 6% of GDP on education, not only higher education, education as such. Of course, that is how some of the countries they are spending 6% of GDP already in education, and that is also our commitment of Government of India. Government of India means including all state governments. That is our commitment. So these are some of the salient features, that is entry and exit options, academic bank of credits, 4-year degree program, lateral entry into PG programs, internship and dissertation, multidisciplinary approach, right? So it is possible to speak at length about each of these things, how it is going to impact, our role as teachers, right? And we have academic bank. So these are some of the changes, policy. These are some of the policy initiatives, right? And for example, if you take Mizoram University as example, already we implemented NEP 2020 as far as our PG programs and BTech programs are concerned. And PG program, and already one of the first batch of postgraduate students, students of PG programs, they are already out. And for UG courses, we have introduced this NEP, already implemented this NEP from the last academic year, that is 2023 academic year, we already implemented. If you ask me the situation of commerce, and we already introduced, we already developed the courses on different courses for BCom. Now we have BCom 3-year program. Now we have BCom 4-year program, like BCom honors and BCom research. And it is up to the colleges. Of course, we have some affiliated colleges in Mizoram, and Mizoram is a small state. Maybe perhaps that is one of the reasons we are able to implement, execute NEP very fast. faster than colleges in Delhi also, right? And so we have 4-year BCom program, BCom honors and BCom research. So those who graduate from BCom honors, and it is possible for them to have lateral entry in the second year of MCom. And those who could graduate BCom research and without doing MCom, it is possible for them to go for PhD. And that is in line with the NEP philosophy, but we have to see how colleges are going to execute. Of course, we have designed a syllabus, and it is up to the colleges whether they really want to execute these programs or not. And interestingly, you must have seen in newspaper last 1 week, and UGC chairman, Professor Jagdish Kumar, he was telling why, why only 3-year degree program? Is it not possible for some of the fast learners? Is it not possible for some of the fast learners to complete the 3-year program in 2.5 years of time? Yeah, he was coining. That means he wanted to. He is asking the higher education institutions to have lot of flexibility, right? In order to complete the 3-year program, you did not study 3 years. Why don't we make it? Why don't we keep one window open for those fast learners to complete their program in 2.5 years? He was just asking that particular question, right? And another thing is this academic bank of credits. Of course, many universities, they already initiated this particular program. But practically, of course, we 2020 NEP, and this is 2024, and there is a need for having some introspection about how we are going to. What is the how we are. Our experiences in different institutions and different states. I think we need to take stock of the situation. And now, actually, in Ahmedabad, the last 2 days, one conference was going on. It is All India Vice Chancellors Conference, and the agenda is about the NEP 2020. And their vice chancellors were sharing their experiences, and they are sharing some of the best practices adopted in their institutions. And in fact, they are also sharing some of the ground realities. Say, for example, actually lateral entry into PG programs, we have to see how it is going to happen, and how many students really they want to go for 4-year degree programs instead of having a PG program after 3 years. So it also depends upon students, whether students are really interested in that. Then another issue is how many students are really moving from one institution to another institution. How many students really they want to go for exit options after 1 year or after 2 years of their degree program, and whether they are really opting for other institutions. Entry that is entry option, exit option, and entry option, right? Really, whether they want to go for entry option for other institutions. So these are some of the issues we need to understand. And of course, then as teachers, we are facing one particular challenge in internship and dissertation. And internship has become an integral part. Internship, of course, there are other internship or field work or some practical orientation, whatever it may be. It has become an integral part of UG programs as well as PG programs. And really, how many students are getting benefited out of this field work or internship? And so far, as teachers, we are quite comfortable in handling our students in teaching some subject within the classroom. But now, if you see the routine of a university which adopted NEP, especially at PG level, and we have reduced the classroom interaction very much compared to earlier days. And instead of classwork, there are slots for internship and there are slots for dissertation. And dissertation has become part of UG programs as well as PG programs. And I would like to share my own experience at Mizoram University. And I think we have 18 credits for dissertation in a PG program. So here PG means not necessarily including MCOM, including MA Economics, not only MBA. Every PG program, it may be MA Sociology, or it may be MSc Physics, or it may be MBA Tourism, or it may be MA History, right? So, what kind of internship they are expected to do, students of varied disciplines, and what kind of dissertation they are expected to do in their discipline. So, this is a big challenge for the department. And we all know that it is not easy to make our own doctoral students, our own doctoral scholars, to do a meaningful research, right? We all know that though they are well qualified scholars, after clearing a net, they got admission for doing PhD, but still, there is a lot of struggle, at least among some of the scholars to do PhD after getting enrollment also, we all know. But here, we are expecting every student to have research bent of mind, right? And because dissertation means, it is not just like a simple assignment, and they are expected to collect data, and they are expected to read research, they are expected to read literature, and they are expected to go to the field, they are expected to design a questionnaire, data collection, interpretation, having a thorough knowledge about the statistical tools, testing of hypotheses, then, finally writing the dissertation, right? And it's a big question mark. How many students are really having that research bent of mind, and how much time the faculty members are giving to each of those dissertation students, and engaging the students outside the classroom, and engaging the students in the name of fieldwork internship. It is a big challenge. If we are not able to, if the teachers and higher education institutions are not able to address this particular issue, then finally, I would say that we are not in a position to execute NEP 2020 as per the expected lines. So my suggestion would be, in this context, my suggestion would be the universities need to review the progress of work, and not just once in 3 years, or not just once in 5 years. On a regular basis, of course, the universities are having NEP task force committee is there, and that committee is responsible in incorporating and modifying the changes on a continuous basis. But we should not take so much of time in reviewing the stock of situation. And there are certain gaps, and we need to address those gaps to make NEP 2020, a successful policy, right? So then I will move on to the next slide. So this is about India's higher education system, and these are some of the challenges and opportunities, right? And so for the first time, a National Education Policy 2020, it spoke about the internationalization of students. First time, perhaps. Earlier, I think only in 2010, Niti Aayog, in one of their documents, they discussed something about internationalization of higher education. Except that no institution, no agency in India, it spoke about the internationalization of higher education. What is this internationalization? So this has become our important task now: how to attract foreign students to India. So building links and programs with top ranking foreign universities, how to do that, and setting up of international student offices in universities. I think many universities now, they have international student offices in place. They're in the process of attracting some students, not certainly in large numbers, except a few institutions, right? Except a few universities. Many universities, they don't have international students, I should say. And Now we have UGC regulations in place. According to those UGC regulations, um, uh, I think now India is encouraging setting up of certain campuses, certain university campuses, foreign university campuses in India. So broadly, the thing is, we want to open up, the educational system in India. And of course, we are allowing our students to go to foreign countries and to take admission in foreign countries. And we are actually encouraging as parents and as a society, we are encouraging our students to do so. But somehow we are not, we are not able to attract a large number of students from foreign countries to India. So this is one of the issues we need to address. Sound technical. Okay. And actually, of course, so there is a time constraint, but just a few days back, I read one article in Business Standard. Let me check. It must be here. So there is one article in Business Standard, right? So 9 million students. This is the headline: 9 million students, Indian students, to study abroad by 2030. India and China, their lead to continue, right? And a lot of statistics they have given. How much money India is spending, how much money is going out in the name of higher education. So the figures are mind-boggling, and out of total number of international students, 33% of students, they are from these two countries, India and China. And we have different concepts like Indian students are going to many countries, including Nigeria, right? And mm, and they have given some statistics how much money we are spending on foreign students, right? And so currently, achieving parity with China would require substantial economic and educational shifts within India. For example, to rival China's outbound student numbers, India's GDP per capita would need to leap from $6,800 in 2019 to $35,000 by 2030, right? And so there is a combination of, so according to this particular agency, changes in immigration policies in major study destinations like Australia, Canada, the UK, and the US are increasingly attracting academically driven students who are less sensitive to tuition fee and tuition costs. For example, the Australian government's recent adjustments have led to a shift in the type of students interested in studying in the country. So now the issue is, of course, is it good? Is it good or bad? Is it good for the country? Is it bad for the country? So there are many, perceptions about this, and some people say we should encourage our students to go outside, and because students they never go for just for studies to other countries. They are going there to seek a better career, a better life, and better opportunity in career, right? And when they are missing those opportunities within the country, what is wrong in going there? And finally, it is going to benefit the domestic country also. So we call it brain gain. It is not brain drain, it is brain gain. Of course, some people would also argue that after acquiring some experience there, so some of them, they would prefer to go back to their native place, um, home state, right? And they will utilize their expertise and their experience, and they would become entrepreneurs, and they would set up the companies and some startups, and it would help the economy. So we call it a reverse brain drain, right? So there are different concepts about this, but please remember, this is one of the important issues we need to understand. So this is about higher education system and what are the challenges and opportunities. See, we know on NAC, we are well aware of it, and the AICTE, recognized institutions, they come under NBA, National Board of Accreditation, and these two external bodies are responsible for assessment and accreditation. Of course, we spoke about, I spoke about extending or expanding access to higher education and India's vision of making it 26% to 35% of GER, gross enrollment ratio. That is about access. And this is about quality. See, access, quality, and equity. These are three important dimensions of education. So we need to expand access and without compromising with quality. So quality enhancement is also important. And equity means the vulnerable sections of the society, they should not be deprived of education. Just for economic reasons, if some children are deprived of educational opportunity, then we are not going to create any just society, and it is not going to be Vikasit Bharat. Please remember. So, without spending substantial investment, without investing substantial funds on education and health, I don't think Viksit Bharat would happen automatically. Just based on the size of the economy in terms of GDP, of course, our GDP is great in terms of size because our population is also biggest, right? It is the biggest. That is why GDP, and there is no wonder that we have a very big economy in terms of GDP. But finally, how many people have access to these two fundamental things, education and health? That is very much important, right? So only 14% of colleges and 35% of universities, they are accredited by NAC. This may not be very latest statistics, but at least you would say that 1 year back, this is the statistics. So that means 86% of colleges and 65% of universities, they are not prepared to go for accreditation by NAC. And that speaks of lack of confidence and their own self-doubt about the quality of education they are imparting. And internal bureaucracy is one problem. Then, cumbersome government regulations, conflicts between center and states. And we know there are certain states like Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, right? And there they have two types of vice chancellors. Vice chancellors appointed by the Raj Bhavan and vice chancellors appointed by the state government. And the problem is lingering and it is continuing. And is it necessary such type of conflict between these two institutions? Is it necessary? Is it so difficult to appoint a reasonably good vice chancellor, a reasonably good professor as a vice chancellor of a university? So why to have controversy right from the appointment of the vice chancellor? So that is the question. So these are some of the challenges and opportunities, and we need to address. And India's higher education system is underfunded for decades, And the bulk of higher education resides in colleges and state universities. And as per statistics, at least 80% of our students in higher education system, they depend on colleges and state universities for higher education. And incidentally, national education policy, if you want to implement national education policy, most of the burden, it is on the shoulders of the state universities and the colleges. Especially at UG level, many reforms it initiated. And they want to have multidisciplinary campuses, right? and they want to have bigger campuses, and they want to have 4-year degree programs with the exit and entry option, right? So there are different reforms we initiated, but colleges need to be prepared. Also, they need to have more manpower, and they need to be given more funds, and it needs to have a better infrastructure, because they need to run 4-year degree program, not just 3-year degree program. So, whereas if you take the university system, and it is possible to have only 1-year PG program, because parallel entry into second year PG is possible after having 4-year BCom program, BCom honors, right? So NEP promises major infusion of funds, quality enhancement, and a massive expansion of enrollment require adequate funding, and India's spend on education is perhaps the lowest among BRICS nations. And economists and experts, they want to compare India's spend on education with BRICS nations. And in fact, these BRICS nations, they are not, see, Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa. These are not, these are comparable nations to India. And unfortunately, our spend is the lowest. Then some of higher education institutions in India, they may be good, but certainly they are not great. And our universities want to be associated with the world-class universities of other countries. But do we have any world-class universities? That is the question. And of course, the answer, we are well aware of that. We don't have many world-class universities. And of course, this is 2023 Times Higher Education World University Rankings. And only Indian Institute of Science, it is the top institution in India, but it is in the range of 251 to 300. 75 universities, they were included, but they are far down on the list. And of course, we have outstanding specialized institutions, centrally funded institutions like IITs and IIMs. They are doing really good. And Government of India, it introduced one particular scheme, Institute of Excellence scheme. It was introduced in 2017 to identify 20 universities to achieve world-class standards. And according to that scheme, these institutions, these top 20 universities, Indian universities, they are eligible for $122 million for 5 years. That is the plan. But finally what happened? But not even half of the sanctioned amount was released. And of course, government has its own say, and according to their claim, it is because of a poor absorption capacity of beneficiary university. So 78% of India's colleges are in private sector, right? So education is no longer a public good. We understand it, right? And it is like, of course, some people, they call it has become a commercial commodity. Okay, some people call it. And if you have capacity, you buy a better commodity. Otherwise, you can't, right? And these private institutions, they account for 66% of total student enrollment in India. So we have 450 private universities, and most of them are known for their poor quality, right? So that is the reality. So so it is about leadership, and teacher is a leader, and compared to other type of professions, right? We don't have much hierarchy, whether it is a college or university system, right? And universities are basically autonomous bodies, right? Of course, we should understand these things, and then I skip these things. Why faculty development? I think these are not required. So as faculty, because you are in the beginning of your career, right? Because you are in the beginning of the career, instead of confining to your own subject, which you are expected to teach in the classroom, right? We should also understand the expectations of a teacher um, from different stakeholders. So we need to understand higher education system in India, its scenario, and what are the global perspectives, vision, challenges, and impact, right? And what are the agencies and their structures, and what are the issues and challenges? And of course, we already discussed about some of the issues and some of the issues, right? Then, institutional planning and development, faculty place. What is your place as faculty in the structure? And what is the role? What is the responsibility? What is the professional relations you are expected to have with other agencies, right? And with other stakeholders? And what kind of networking you need to develop to perform your job better? So this is one important thing. Then, of course, I skip this particular thing, curriculum and pedagogy, right? Um, then, these are the classroom dynamics we need to understand, learning outcomes, teaching methods, handling a diverse classroom, right? And now I'm teaching marketing management for non-commerce students like physics, like zoology, like history, right? And handling a diverse classroom, and not only that, it also means, we have students with different backgrounds, right? With the different social backgrounds. Their economic resources are different. So we need to develop some sensibility and sensitiveness in order to address such type of students. They are coming with different backgrounds, and their needs are different, and their perceptions are different, and their world is different, right? So let us not treat all students in a similar way, right? And education institutions have a responsibility to address the differences, their differences, right? Their diversity. So we need to encourage group work, collaborative learning, and self-study habits. And we need to design assessments that are contextual, meaningful, rigorous, and fair, and using of ICT. So all these things are very much important. And then, research and professional development. Professor Bhartendra Singh was telling that many of you have already possessed a doctoral degree, and some are pursuing their PhD, and some are in the process of starting their PhD. So what is the role of research in teaching? And research for professional development and institutional development. Research possibilities, what type of possibilities we have, right? In terms of interdisciplinary, collaborative, action research. And just a couple of days back, I have seen one news item in a newspaper, and it is about funding, research funding in social science research, and the government is claiming that funding hiked social science research to get major push, right? And it is about ICSSR. It is ready to back studies on tribals and women. That is the priority, the research priority. So research related to tribals and women, they want to give priority for that. And they want to boost research in certain studies. For example, if it is a women-centric project, they are ready to give 25 lakh per minor project, and 30 lakh rupees per major project, if it is a women-centric project, right? And if it is uh, groundbreaking longitudinal study, I mean, covering a long span of time. And ICSSR is ready to give up to 2 crores with a potential maximum of 3 crores as well. But your proposal should justify it, right? Then, They want to focus on studies on particular vulnerable tribal groups. And for such type of studies, they want to give 25 lakh per major project and 15 lakh per minor project. And they are ready, ICSR is even ready to provide financial support for social science research for undergraduate and postgraduate students. This is a new initiative. They want to give 500 projects for 500 students. They want to give such type of projects, even for UG and PG students. So please remember, we need to understand the trust areas of the government and what is the relevant research and what is the impactful research we need to understand. Research not just for the sake of degree, research not just for the sake of, doing research. And our research should be relevant. Our research should have some social relevance, and the results we are going to have through our research, it should be useful for the society, right? Such type of perspective one should have, and otherwise, social science researchers. I would say that there is a lot of criticism about the kind of research that is happening in academic institutions in social sciences, especially, and repetitive studies, and don't try to do research just to reinvent the wheel, right? And about methodology, there is a lot of criticism about the topic. There is a lot of criticism about the kind of findings what we are going to provide to the stakeholders. There is a lot of criticism. So we should be very serious about the kind of research we want to do, right? And then how to combine teaching and learning. And because I have only 20 minutes time, and I would like to complete in maximum 10 minutes, right? So they are not opposite, and teaching is primary obligation, and research and publications, they demand commitment of time. I don't want to elaborate due to time constraint, but it is possible to strike a balance between research and teaching, possible to achieve excellence in both. There are many similarities between two endeavors. High degree of knowledge is required, whether it is teaching or research in contemporary issues. And please remember, good analytical skills is also very much required in both the endeavors. And articulation and communication skills is a must, whether it is teaching or research. Of course, in teaching, the more emphasis would be on verbal communication, whereas in research, it is about your writing skills, right? Then, research supports high quality teaching, and it stimulates discussion, challenges assumptions, reaffirms convictions, and raises new questions. Then, dear friends, don't you think that we are not expected to do in teaching? Of course, heading is research, but please think of it. Is it not required to do in teaching? Are we really stimulating discussion through our teaching? Are we really making our students challenge assumptions, reaffirming convictions, and raising new questions? If we are able to do, we are expected to do it in teaching as well. It should not be like, a tops-down approach. So research bent of mind we need to develop among the students right from UG, right? Because UG and PG students are under our control. So if it is not happening, suddenly, breakthrough research would not happen with the students, right? And you see, this is also very much important: personal, emotional development, life skills, counseling, and motivation. So this is about emotional intelligence part of the student. And we should not neglect it. And next to farming class, it is students who are committing suicides, large number of suicides in India. Why it has become a new normal? Why Rajasthan quota has become a synonymous for quota coaching factories? Why large number of students are committing suicides there? There may be positive side, but at the same time, there is a shade. So we as important stakeholders, we need to address these issues also. Understanding myself, self-esteem, ability to reflect, relating to self and others, right? So these things. Then, this is the phrase used by the authors of NEP 2020. So we may be having great intention. We may be having laudable goals under NEP 2020. But please remember, it is through teachers only it is possible to execute any policy. And for that, teachers need to be motivated, they need to be energized, they need to be capable. Of course, I added the word accountable faculty because Professor Sorel, one of my friends, used to use, we need to, make our faculty accountable also, right? Now, my simple question to you is, are you a satisfied teacher? Are you a motivated teacher? Are you a capable teacher? Are you a committed teacher? They sound same or similar, but they are totally different questions. I may be having satisfaction, but I may not be having required motivational level. I may not be having required capability to perform my job. I may be having capacity to perform, but my commitment level may be low. It is also possible, right? And finally, next 25 to 30 years of span of your beautiful career, right? You are already in beautiful career. And see, we need to enjoy our job. We need to play different roles as a teacher. And we need to contribute to the society. And every one of us, we want to be remembered as a good, committed teacher, capable teacher, a motivated teacher, right? Every one of us, right? Then the issue is how to achieve that. So, especially faculty members of commerce and management, they are well aware of one particular theory of motivation. We call it Hedgebeck's two-factor model of motivation. Of course, basically, it is very important theory, and it is possible to apply this particular theory to our own case. So hygiene factors. So Hedgeberg he identified two types of factors: hygiene factors and motivators. And hygiene factors that make teachers happy are not necessarily are the factors that motivate them. If you want to make teachers happy, provide hygiene factors, but don't expect results. If you want to motivate them, then these hygiene factors are not just enough, and you have to provide motivated. What is the difference? So let us maybe next 5 minutes I will try to complete. So these are the hygiene factors that make you satisfied. We feel very happy if supervision is good, if college policy is good, maybe rules relating to leaves or whatever it may be, career advancement, relations with your head and principal, working conditions, salary, relations with colleagues, personal life, relations with subordinates, status, security, job security. See, if we are happy with these things, right, then I would say that I'm a satisfied teacher. I'm not talking about performance. I'm only talking about satisfaction, job satisfaction. So any one of these would trigger dissatisfaction. Everything is good except salary. Some dissatisfaction will be there. Everything is good, but some disturbance in personal life. It may affect your job satisfaction as well. Everything is fine except you have some issue with your head of the department. Your job satisfaction may come down, maybe temporarily. Then it's fine. But finally, please remember, we want to contribute. Every one of us, we want to contribute. And we want to perform better, for which motivation is required. And motivation in what way? So these are the motivators. These are the motivators. Try to see that you have these these things in your in your job content. Hygiene factors are related to job context, whereas motivators are related to job content. Hygiene factors are related to external factors, whereas motivators are related to intrinsic factors. See, achievement, it may be PhD degree, it may be writing a textbook, recognition, maybe writing a paper in Scopus journal, work itself, teaching itself may motivate you. And responsibility, some responsible position like IQAC coordinator, or conducting a seminar, organizing a seminar, or presenting a paper in on prestigious conference, advancement like getting research supervision, and growth like paper in I have like a paper in Scopus Indexed Journal. So I have only provided some examples, and um, uh, list is endless. List is endless. And I'm not advising you to do all these things in 1 year. And we are going to be here for next 30 years, 25 to 30 years of time. And I'm not asking you to do everything in next 5 years, right? No. Or to do everything just before retirement. No. When teaching is happening continuously, why not research? And do you have 10 years of teaching experience, or are you teaching the same lesson 10 times? That is a question many people ask. Are you still following 2017 published textbook on Indian economy to teach that paper? But many things happened between 2017 and 2024. So what is that you are teaching which is not directly available in the textbook? So these are the questions we need to ask. And one fundamental difference between motivators and hygiene factors are, see, in case of hygiene factors which would make you satisfied, you have to depend on someone else. Supervision, someone has to provide. College policy depends on college. Relations with your head and principal, they are different. Working conditions to be provided by the college, salary to be given by the employer, relations with your colleague, it depends on not only you, it depends on them also. And personal life, everything is not in our control. And relations with subordinates depends on him also. And status to be recognized by the society, job security to be provided by the employer. So these are totally not in our control, whereas these motivators, everything is in our control. That is why we call motivators as they come from within. They are not external factors. I think you know the difference. So, but these things we will ask you. It is you are the master. You are the master. What activities you want to do? So we don't have unlimited time to do n number of activities. Am I right? We have very limited time and to do very limited number of activities, whether it is a personal life or professional life. And what is your option? What kind of activities you want to focus on? When and how? Next 6 months, do you have any plan to write a paper? In next 1 year, how many seminar presentations you want to give? Last 3 months, have you read at least 3 very good articles in journal as per your interest? And so these are some of the questions you need to ask yourself. And that would make you, your life would be quite interesting for you. First, my face should not be boring for me. First, my lecture should be interesting to me before thinking about whether it is interesting to you or not, right? So, so values, ethics, and environmental consciousness, we should not leave. Because a higher education institution is part of environment. And I am part of the higher education institution. And I should have, call it samajika spruha. Awareness, social consciousness, social responsibility. Individual social responsibility is no less important than CSR, corporate social responsibility. what kind of responsibility I have towards my immediate society. This is very much important. So we need to explore linkages um, and exploring linkages and education, exploring linkages in education, right? Deliberating on social and environmental issues in contemporary India, and the role of higher education in addressing issues like exclusion, inequality, gender, corruption, drug abuse. Drug abuse has become a menace in many metropolitan cities, especially, and schools are no exception. And climate change and so on. So we have a responsibility as a teacher to create some awareness, some social, some responsibility among our students about all these issues, right? Then, so this is the final word. Enjoy the most stimulating journey as a teacher, and as a teacher, I wish you could make a difference in the lives of your students. So thank you very much, Bidu.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightened discussion. Sir, there are 2-3 questions. May we take it up?
Yes, please, yeah.
Okay. So, sir, first question from Shubhashish Mishra. He written, with the application of AI, is it possible to improve the quality of research in higher education?
Yeah.
Without compromising the ethical aspects?
Very much, very much. Technology, we are not supposed to curse the technology, because technology is created by human being only for betterment of our lives. But at the same time, we should use it ethically by following some ethical standards without deviating from ethics, right? And say, for example, a simple question. Of course, AI is a new technology. For example, when internet was there, when internet was invented initially, people were thinking that research quality would certainly improve because data is available from a new source and at very least cost, right? And so researchers have more access to literature, more access to literature. So that was the kind of thinking. But afterwards, what happened is many people started abusing it. It is like asking a simple innocent question whether internet would improve your quality as in your research. Certainly, it will improve, but plagiarism is also possible. Plagiarism is easily possible. Without reading, also it is possible to copy and paste without reading. Still, you would call it a paper. So, but we know that it is not written by me, right? So it is simply like that. So certainly all these technologies, we should know how to use it. And I would say that we are not really preparing our scholars. And as guide, I would say that as supervisors also, we need some orientation about how to use these technologies in tapping the literature and in analyzing the literature, how to use these technologies. We need some education, and I feel that is not happening. That is happening. Otherwise, simply writing some paper without really doing research is also possible through chat GPT, right? So responsible consumption and responsible is the need of the hour. And we teachers have to learn how to do that, and then only it is possible for our scholars to learn from us. Simple answer.
Okay. Sir, next question is from Ashok Sharma. He posted 2 questions. So first question is, how can the syllabus be designed to cater to diverse student interest, learning pace, and multiple entry and exit points under NEP 2020?
Yeah, that is one question. Other question, same.
The second question is, how can teachers training program align with the NEP syllabus to ensure faculty are equipped to deliver interdisciplinary and experiential content?
Yeah. So it is about syllabus design. Ashok Sharma is from Pachunga University College, our younger colleague, right? and he's also providing research guidance for some of the scholars. I know him, and thing is, we should not do it in a routine way. Thing is, how much commitment the department is having in designing the syllabus, keeping in view the latest trends and the developments that are happening in the field. That is one thing. Another thing is, one criticism against Indian universities is Indian universities are slow in having the recent developments in the syllabus. They are slow in making revision about the syllabus, and in the name of revision, they are not even changing 20% of the syllabus. And one criticism is most of the syllabus followed by Indian universities is not required. It is not according to the expectation of the prospective employers of. That is why, see, it is not only about the syllabus. It is also about how, as teachers, we are going to execute that syllabus. So pedagogy is important. Say, for example, management teachers are there. So, how to teach a simple lesson in management, like leadership theories, right? Leadership theories. You can simply read out what is there in the textbook, and you can also teach the same leadership theories by using one case study from real life, without directly going to what is leadership, meaning of leadership, theories of leadership, without explaining those things, right? So, so there are different methods. There are different methods. So, revision of syllabus is very much important, and universities cannot blame others if they don't have a very good syllabus. More than that, carrying out that syllabus, how you are executing that syllabus is very much important. One big difference between top class B schools and others is big B schools, it is, teachers, they would act as facilitators. They don't feel that their job is 90% teaching and only 10% evaluation. It is not like that. They know how to make their students participate. When teacher is coming to the class with participation, why not students? If students are simply coming to the classroom just like it is a coffee hotel without much preparation, right? I don't think much teaching learning is happening. There is a basic fundamental difference between top B schools and others. We are simply playing the role of a teacher, only top-down approach, and we are not really imparting the required rigor in our syllabus, and we are not imparting required skills in our students. That is the basic difference. Okay.
Sir, we will take quickly two questions. One is from Kuheli Mukhopadhyay and one is from M. Rajesh. So first question is, what have been your observation on the effect of academic bank of credit on graduates' employability in India ever since its inception? And second question is, sir, how AI going to change teaching in college level?
Yeah. I think about AI already we discussed at length, and actually what type of AI tools we want to employ at college level, actually we are clueless. We are not, we are only leaving to the student. And my main complaint about this technology is, why should a student attend your class when you are teaching when you are teaching depending on some material which is easily available in Google? If teacher is depending on some information in Google, and if student knows that teacher is doing that, then fun is missing. Fun of teaching learning is missing, right? And so that means, as a teacher, what I'm doing is I am making myself replaceable by some technology, right? So that is why student may feel it is very easy because everything. So how many students really are following the textbook? Really, standard textbooks, how many students are really following? At university level, I'm talking. I'm not talking about other levels. At university level, really, how many students? And how many teachers are really updating, their knowledge by referring the latest textbooks. And how many MBA students are entering the classroom after reading 30 days academic time? Right? So these are some of the simple questions, and who are stopping us not to do this? Right? So that is about this. And another thing, first question, it is about?
Then it is about academic bank of credit that
Yeah.
since its implementation, how it's helping graduate regarding employability.
Yes. In that particular AICTE All India level Vice Chancellor's conference in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, it happened, right? And they want some statistics about how many students are really opting for exit option, and how many students are really opting for entry option, entry in some other institution. Really, in how many institutions it is happening, and we don't have really any statistics. But ground realities, some rough statistics, it would provide some idea that we are really in the infancy stage. Of course, central universities and some state universities, they started having ABC, but fundamentally, say for example, in your college or in the university in which your college is affiliated, how many students last year you gave admission? In second year or third year. I think very few. I don't think very few colleges, very few universities which are in top 100. I think some of them may be coining this idea, but we are still in the beginning stage, I feel. It is not happening as expected level so far, I feel. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for taking all the questions also.
So thank you, Bidu. Thank you. And
thank you.